We aim to create a culture of micro improvements. We aim to empower and create agency for education leaders.
Hello and welcome to Up Close and Personal Season 2 at InvokED Studio. My name is Aria.
And my name is Alex
from Bach Bros Studio. Today we are going to meet with Mr. S.D. Shibulal, who is the founder of ShikshaLokam and co-founder of Infosys.
So with that, let us welcome Mr. Shibulal.
Hello. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
Thank you for making the time to meet with us today. So we know that ShikshaLokam works with the government and other organizations, which involves a significant amount of leadership. So in your own words, how would you define leadership and how can you practice it?
So leadership is about driving change. It's about driving transformation. It is about driving continuous improvement. It is about persisting despite many, many challenges. It is transformative in nature. At the same time, anyone can be a leader. Even small set of actions taken consistently over a period of time can drive meaningful change in any system. So leaders are people who imagine new possibilities, new ways of doing things. Leaders are people who raise aspirations, who create hope.
What's the biggest challenge in improving education in India?
So, as you know, India is a very complex place. India has multiple languages, multiple states, approximately 1.5 million government schools. 1.5 million government schools, 10 million teachers, and more than 4 million school leaders. India has today probably more than 200 million students going to public schools. So it's a very complex and large environment. In such an environment, one size do not fit all. There is no single solution which will solve the complex problems across a country like India. So the first challenge is to create locally relevant solutions. But most often in a democracy, we tend to have top-down solutions, which makes it difficult to work, which makes it difficult to address the diverse needs of states and districts across a country like India. Second biggest challenge would be leadership. The education system in India requires change. It requires transformation. And transformation requires leadership. In India, the education leaders are not, especially in the public schools, not well recognized. They lack resources. They lack decision-making power and has access to very limited data. Now, there are many agencies in the education system in India. You have the government schools. Government schools come with leaders and teachers. You have the government, the public sector. You have the social sector. You also have society itself. So these are all actors in the education ecosystem. And the challenge is to create collaboration. The challenge is to create consensus. The challenge is to create trust. The challenge is to create collective action, which is essential for a systemic transformation in a country like India. And this does reflect in the outcomes. While close to 90% of the children in India are in schools, there are millions of children who are not. There are a large number of dropouts. The quality of education is not up to the mark. Inadequate teachers' training and low accountability are systemic issues to be addressed.
So, how does ShikshaLokam work with the government to improve schools?
ShikshaLokam works very closely with the government. It works with the government to identify key challenges in the education field, design innovative solutions which are local, and scale them using technology. ShikshaLokam takes a very data-driven approach for creating sustainable impact. ShikshaLokam believes in co-creating solutions. It co-creates learning and improvement programs for education leaders across the country. It fosters collaboration with the various actors in the education system, whether it is government officials, social sector, civil society, and the education leadership. So it creates collaboration, it creates convergence of ideas across various actors who are in the education ecosystem. It orchestrates collective action for systemic change. By bringing together these diverse actors, government, civil society, market players, and media, it focuses all these actors towards public school improvement. And these improvements are facilitated and led by the education leaders themselves. It creates multi-stakeholder collaboration. It creates collective ideation and problem solving. It facilitates the government from owning the program and implementing at scale. This is how ShikshaLokam works with the government.
What do you hope ShikshaLokam will achieve in the next few years?
So we have just recently launched Shikshagriha, a people's movement for education equity. Now, Shikshagraha aims at mobilizing individuals and organizations towards collective action for improving 1 million public schools in India. We aim to create a culture of micro improvements. We aim to empower and create agency for education leaders. We believe that creating the habit of micro improvements, habit of sustainable change, will create transformation in the education ecosystem. We believe in decentralized, localized solutions. We aim to shift the decision-making power to districts and schools, thereby allowing them to identify their own challenges, implement solutions which are appropriate for the local context.
So, how do you measure if ShikshaLokam's work is making a difference?
As I mentioned, ShikshaLokam believes in a data-driven approach to create sustainable change. It allows the leaders to have a single view of the impact. It allows the leaders to take ownership for school improvements and allows them to foster self-sustaining ecosystem of change. It leverages the open data for continuous improvement. ShikshaLokam contributes towards digital platforms like Diksha, where the data is captured in a way that enables the ecosystem to analyze, make sense, adopt, and drive further improvements. ShikshaLokam believed in building an open, collaborative network. Impact is amplified through open source solutions and by creating stakeholders who can co-create and scale sustainable change.
What advice would you give to young people who want to be leaders?
So the first thing I would say is anyone can be a leader. And leadership is not about having all the answers. It is about creating a mindset of continuous learning and improvement. For that, one needs to remain curious. One needs to constantly inquire. One needs to learn. One needs to focus on small and large improvements, which creates lasting impact. One need not reinvent everything. One needs to build on existing resources and ideas. Collaboration is key to success. Collaboration will increase the pace of implementation. It will allow you to leverage resources at various levels. That is point number 2. Point number 3 is you are bound to fail. Learn from your failures. Understand the failures of you and your team. Learn the strengths of your team and include them in your discussions while building your strategy so that every one of them will learn from what works and what does not work. Next point, one needs to embrace challenges. Leaders are meant to take up difficult assignments. They are meant to take on difficult challenges. And they are supposed to do this without the fear of failure. Finally, leadership is about walking the talk. You cannot ask your team to do something which you are unwilling to do. So true leadership is about enabling people around you to focus on collaboration, focus on co-creation, focus on learning. And leaders need to be imaginative. They need to imagine new possibilities.
Thank you so much, and we loved having this exciting conversation with you.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this episode of Up Close and Personal Season 2. Innovation can help you think of new ways to help the issues that are going on around us. Just like ShikshaLokam works to strengthen and develop leadership in the K-12 education system. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for upcoming episodes. Bye!